Smart rings have been gaining serious attention lately, and that's for a good reason. They promise to track your health, your sleep without the bulk of a smartwatch. And I have been always curious, what can this tiny thing do? Can it actually compete with a fitness tracker like a smartwatch? Can it replace a smartwatch? I have been wearing this Ultrahuman Air ring for the past 9 months, 24/7, and I have a lot to share with you. Is it accurate? Is it comfortable? Is it worth the money? Well, in this video, we're talking about all of these things. It's gonna be a long one, so make yourself a cup of tea or coffee and let's get started. A quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. Ultrahuman did not send me this ring, so in this video, I can say whatever I want, my honest thoughts and opinions. However, I asked for a special discount for you guys, so make sure to watch this video till the very end. And without further ado, let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Yulia, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I've been looking for a smart ring for a while and there are many brands available. However, Ultrahuman Ring stood out for me for a few reasons that I'm gonna cover a little bit later. Let's start with what do you actually get. When you purchase a ring, you also get the sizing kit included. In the sizing kit, you can find all the finishes, all the materials. I was leaning towards the titanium, but my husband was like, oh, it's so masculine. So I was like, okay, space silver then, because he has the Apple Watch in titanium, and I agree. It looks kind of masculine. I don't know if that's the correct word to use, but also all the jewelry, everything I have is silver. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I actually like the Aster Black, but again, if I want everything to match, space silver was the color for me. You also get a sizing kit with the plastic ring so you can try this out. Ultrahuman recommends that you wear this ring for at least 24 hours so you can find your real size. I know we all get excited about the new ring and we want to place an order like right away, but I feel like this is a crucial step because A, your hands, they change. I would go to bed with my ring being perfectly in place. I wake up and I can't take it out because you get puffy when you sleep. So I would recommend wearing this as they recommended for at least 24 hours and make sure it's comfortable during things you do, like working out, cleaning, sleeping, doing regular things. I was personally debating between 6 and 7, but I ended up getting 6. I have spent a lot of time on Reddit because some people were like, oh, mine came in smaller, mine came in larger, and I was like, I don't know which one to pick. So I was like, I'll go with 6 because it fits at least 2 fingers. So for me, it's index on the left and then the ring finger on the right. So I was like, if it's smaller, I'm gonna wear it on my right hand. If it's a little bit bigger or the same size as the sizing kit, I'll wear it on my left one. After you choose your size, you confirm it in the app, you will get a tracking link for your ring. There are actually steps that you can track, like manufacturing, dispatch, and stuff like that. And then you get this. One thing to mention, Ultrahuman sends their stuff with DHL, so it was really fast. Honestly, I think my ring arrived from the moment I placed my, order, like less than a week. It was super fast. The packaging, can we talk about that? Feels premium. It's, super nice and glossy. I love the box. It's given Apple. In the box, you will have all the essentials. The ring. Why do I have 2 rings? I'll let you know later. You get the ring and some stickers, a charging station, all the necessary things. Do I put it here? When purchasing a ring, you can also get insurance. I think the options are 1 and 2 years. The best part about this, if you purchase a 2-year plan and your goal is to lose weight, Ultrahuman will send you a new replacement ring if you achieve your goals. This benefit is only available with the 2-year plan, but I feel like it's a great thing to do because if you get in a smart ring to get in shape and, start working out, live a healthier life, well, you can message them and ask for a new ring. How exciting is that? Now, the big question is always, why did you choose this brand over XYZ? And for me, it was simple. I do not pay for subscriptions, period. When I'm buying a 300 euro device, the last thing I want to do is pay for subscription. Can we be for real, please? It's like buying an iPhone and paying a subscription to use it. I don't get it. While Ultrahuman Ring has some paid features, the majority of stuff you need, they're free. Free, you do not pay anything. I don't know if that's gonna change eventually, but for now everything is free except for a few power plugs, but I'm gonna mention those a little bit later. If you want to compare different devices like, Garmin Watch, Apple Watch, Oura, you can go to Ultrahuman's website and they actually have a table where you can see all the data like battery life, like accuracy, what are some things that these devices are tracking if you want to, take a look for yourself. One of the big questions I had when I was researching the smart rings was actually how accurate is that tiny thing. And here's the thing, you have to have multiple devices to compare, because otherwise, how would you know? For example, for me, I was tracking my burn calories because I wanted to be in a calorie deficit. And the difference between my watch and my ring were around 300, 400 calories. I always wear this too. If one is charging, the second one is charging too. Yes, the ring takes a few weeks to adapt to you, to learn your patterns, stuff like that. But I've noticed there has been a difference between these two. Which one is accurate? I don't know, but it's not like a drastic number. If the difference was like 1000 calories, I'd be like, where did that come from? But like 300, yeah. Same with heart rates. You'll need to compare those to like chest trackers. When I was looking for a ring, I was watching Shervin's videos because his full arms are covered in those smart gadgets. So maybe for comparison and like accuracy, you can watch those videos. So what is it actually like wearing a smart ring? First of all, it's super light, super comfortable. After a few days, I completely forgot it existed, but then I would get a notification on my app saying like, oh, you need to charge it. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I've worn this in the shower while doing the dishes. I think it's up to 100 meters water resistant, so you can even swim or scuba dive in it. But I think Ultrahuman says you should avoid using it underwater for like longer than 30 minutes. So if you're just taking a shower, like a bath, sure, maybe it's okay. But if you're planning to go for a long swim, maybe that's not the right device for that. I also use my ring to track sleep, my recovery. I like that I can see all the sleep phases and how much time I've spent in each of those, my flips and turns, stuff like that. Even though this data is like, it doesn't give me anything, I like that the app has those annotations where they explain, for example, why do you turn more at night, things like that. I also use the ring for my activity tracking. I love that it automatically detects when you walk in and then you go to the app and it's like, oh, have you been working out? It will not work for example, weightlifting or like a spinning class. But if you just walk in and you don't want to track, who wants to track their walks? But this thing will automatically suggest activities in the app later. Again, it is not as detailed as the Apple Watch, for example, but it tracks activities and it will send you notifications saying, hey, it's time to stretch your legs, let's move your body. So that might actually help for people like myself who spend a lot of time in front of the computer. I also use my ring to track my cycle. It's really interesting how it can track or predict the period dates based on your temperature, because your hormones, female health, stuff like that. It will actually tell me like, hey, your temperature is like this. Maybe tomorrow your period will start. And in most of the cases, that was the case. I think this is really cool if you have an irregular cycle and you're like, ooh, when do I expect it? And the ring is like, tomorrow. And one of the things that I've noticed people like to gatekeep is the app. First of all, the design. As a product designer, I love it. Second of all, they have a lot of free stuff in there. Meditations, they have workouts, all for free. There are also things called power plugs, which are basically like plugins for your ring. Also free. Yes, there are a few of them that are paid. For example, the in-depth cycle tracking. But other power plugs like vitamin D, sunlight exposure, caffeine window, even new parent, you can add them to your ring and then it will suggest things for you. For example, it suggests that I don't drink caffeine when I wake up. I wait at least for 2 hours. And I feel like that has been scientifically proven that you need to avoid caffeine, because when you wake up, your cortisol is high and then you're making it even higher with your caffeine intake. So you need to wait till your cortisol goes down a little bit and then you can drink your coffee. And in the app, what I love about it, you can track your foods, your caffeines, all that kind of stuff. I think Ultrahuman want to launch the weight loss power plugin. It's not available yet, but it is in the app in the coming soon section. I think that's when the food tracking will make sense. Also, there are tags in the app. So for example, if you travel and you can say, I'm traveling. If you went to a party, it helps the app analyze why your recovery not as good or why did you sleep poorly last night. I like this gaming approach, I guess. Like I can tag my travels and my medications, my late meals. For example, some nights when I eat my dinner late, I get notifications the day after being like, you spent a lot of time digesting your food last night. And I'm like, yeah, guilty. I had my dinner at like 10 p.m. And the app is like, yeah, that's why you slept poorly, because your body was not resting. It was working all night long. There is another interesting feature that is called goals. You can set your goals of like, moving your body, going to bed earlier, achieving X minutes of working out per day. I personally don't use that, but this option is available to you. And let's talk about battery life, because this can make or break the device. I have been tired of two things: subscriptions and battery lives. I'm actually thinking about selling my Apple Watch because I have to charge this thing every single day. Unfortunately, Apple has not made Ultra Watch for women with tiny wrists, so this every night I go to bed, I have to charge it. Ultrahuman promises 4 to 6 days of non-charging, and it's safe to say my ring lasts for 5 days. I absolutely love that I can go for a weekend trip, leave my charger at home, and just go. They even have a few modes to choose from: turbo, chill, and critical battery. The app will suggest based on your usage which mode to use. For me, it says chill is the most optimal one. The charging is also super simple. You just drop your ring on it and in an hour, maybe 2, it is fully charged and you can wear it for the next 5 days and not worry about charging it. However, Ultrahuman recommends that you do not drain the battery till 0 and then charge it to 100. So maybe you can charge your ring whenever you go to shower, because I feel like if you charge it for 15 to 30 minutes every once in a while, that should be perfect. All right, let's break the pros and cons of the Ultrahuman Ring. Aside from all the pros that I've just mentioned, no subscription, 5-day battery. What I absolutely love is the price. The regular price is 379 euros. I'm in Portugal, so all the prices are in euros. But I asked Ultrahuman to give me a discount code, and they did. So as of today, up until December 2nd, you can get 25% off your ring, and the price will be 256 euros. I think that's a great deal. I will leave all the links, all the codes in the description box down below. If you're watching this video after December 2nd, I still got you. There's a code to use for a 10% discount, which is still quite nice. And on top of all those savings, you also don't pay subscription. How amazing is that? Again, I love that the app offers a bunch of free, breathing exercises and activities and workouts. Ultrahuman is constantly evolving. They're adding new features. I have had this ring for like 9 months, and the stuff they have been adding over those past 9 months is just incredible. I also think it's quite safe to say that the ring is durable. I will show you side by side my old and new ring. And I've been working out and going to the gym with the ring. I do not wear any kind of ring protection, even though I know there are some silicone cases that you can order off like Amazon, but I don't have one and I don't think I need one. It is also worth noting that the customer support is just phenomenal. I had an issue with my previous ring. It was not charging properly. I had to align the sensor with the charging station. And for some time I thought this is how it's supposed to be. But then I watched the videos and people putting the ring on the charger and it starts charging. Because in the app you can see if it's actually charging. And for me, I had to, find the right position. So I messaged the support and the support agent was trying to troubleshoot, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll send you the new ring because your thing was broken. I was like, what? First of all, they responded really fast. They shipped the new ring really fast, and the replacement came in 3 or 4 days. What is that? Super fast, super nice. The agents are super helpful. We tried a bunch of things, they didn't work. and they were like, okay, we'll send you a replacement. No hustle, no like running around. 10 out of 10 experience. And now the most fun part, the cons. One of the things I wish existed is the half sizes, because I would honestly want to wear my ring on the middle finger. However, I can't because 5 is too small and 6 is too big. So my plan was to wear the ring on the middle finger, but then when I got the sizing kit, I was like, this is not happening, so I have to, find the finger to wear the ring on. But I feel like this is just like some minor inconvenience. Smart rings are not like regular rings. I don't think, maybe you can make half sizes, but it's like, why? But there is a bigger thing that I don't like about the ring, and is that I can't import my steps from my Apple Health stuff. Here's the thing, I have a standing desk with a walking pad. So when I work, I put my ankle bracelet, aka Apple Watch, on my ankle, and then I walk, right? But my hands, I type with them, I do the stuff. So the ring thinks I'm doing nothing. And then it's nighttime and the ring is like, oh, you haven't walked a bit, your steps are down from like last week. And I'm like, I have been walking because I have a standing desk, and I reached out to support and they were like, unfortunately, there is no way for you to import the steps from Health to the Ultrahuman Ring. However, they said they're working on it. I don't know, maybe at some point they will launch that functionality, but for now, I have to have walking breaks and actually, walk and move my hands. So the ring knows I'm walking all day long. Another con for some people might be that it's quite an investment, but if you are in the market for a smart ring, I think they all cost around the same. But then again, you can find devices that are cheaper, and then they will have subscriptions. So I feel like they're all gonna be pretty much the same if we're not talking about, watches, because watches are even more expensive. Another concern that people might have is that it has limited functionality, but it's a ring. There are no displays, no nothing, so of course it cannot track everything as your smartwatch. So that's just a thing to keep in mind. For me personally, that is not a con. I'm tired of all the displays, computer and phone and like watch. So I really love that I don't have to, tap or whatever, do things with it. A few things to keep in mind is it takes some time to learn about your patterns and your things. I've mentioned that before, but I feel like I need to mention that again. So don't expect for the first 2 weeks your ring to give you all the insights. They'll be like, general suggestions and recommendations, because the ring is still calibrating to you and your body. And again, this is not a smartwatch. There are no displays, no notifications, no nothing. It just tracks your body and you. For some people that might be a con. I don't know, like maybe some people want a smart device with a screen. For me personally, it's a pro. I love that I don't have to do anything. The ring tracks everything and I have nothing to do with it. But who should buy this ring? Let's talk about that. If you want to track your wellness, if you want to track your health without the bulk of the smartwatch, I feel like a ring can be a great alternative. If you want to optimize your sleep and recovery, I feel like the ring gives more insights compared to, for example, Apple Watch. Again, battery life, if you value long battery life, maybe you should opt in for a ring instead of a watch. And if you're looking for a gadget with like less distractions, I feel like a ring would be perfect for you. Now, who shouldn't buy this device? First of all, if you want detailed data about your workouts, the GPS, everything, the ring is not for you. It will not offer you all those functions, unfortunately. Maybe just yet, maybe in the future, but not now. If you're looking for something like a combination of like a smart gadget, but you can still get all the notifications and like mirroring your phone, again, the ring is not for you. I think a specific category of people who don't need those devices, people with the history of eating disorders, people who obsess over numbers and over things the apps, the gadgets tell them, because I know some people, they're like, oh, my bracelet told me my recovery score is this, I should do this and that. I feel like it's nice to have the data, but if you know you have the tendency to obsess over that kind of stuff, you should not be getting a ring, because you'll be looking at those numbers in the app all day, every day, being like, oh, I need to increase my steps, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I don't think it's a healthy way of using gadgets like this one. Another very specific category of people is the runners, because if you want to start running and you just want to use your ring, I don't know if it's a good idea to have it as your primary device. However, as a secondary device, sure, maybe. Again, the ring and the watch can be nice together, but I don't quite see how you can use the ring, because in that case you will need to bring your phone so you can tap on record the workout, outdoor run or like indoor run, and then start the workout. I don't know. But also I feel like with running you want to see your heart zones if you're serious about that. If you just run for funsies, who cares? But you should still be able to hold a conversation, that's how you know. But then if you're running alone and you're talking to yourself. Anyways, as I've mentioned before, Ultrahuman is having a Black Friday special deal, 25% off, the best deal of the year. So if you're looking for a ring as of today until December 2nd, you can use my code and get a massive discount on your new Ultrahuman Air ring. But if you're watching this video after Black Friday, don't worry. You're not left out. You can still get 10% off using my code. So whether you're watching this in December, January, you can still save some money. I've left all the links and codes in the description box down below. I only share codes for things I love, I've been using, and after 9 months, I feel like that's definitely one of those things. So after wearing this ring for 9 months, I'm still wearing it every single day. It helped understand my body more. I feel like I make better decisions in terms of like, drinking caffeine or like eating before going to bed or like going out and staying up late, because I know how it will impact my body. If you have any questions about the ring, let me know in the comments. I feel like I've covered everything. But if you still have a question, drop it in the comments. I know how hard it can be to find information, because before choosing this ring, I've spent hours, days on Reddit trying to find some information that I needed. And people were like, some people were helpful. Some answers I couldn't find. So I just got a ring instead. So drop your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.